I've wanted to make a video on Lego Batman ever since I did videos on the Complete Saga and Lego Indiana Jones, but since it's not based on any movie or show, I couldn't do every inaccuracy. However, I came up with a new idea for a series of videos where I compare the console and PC version of the game to the handheld version of the game, and that's what this video is. I'm also going to say that these are almost exclusively going to be gameplay and visual differences. I'll only mention technical differences if I feel they are worth mentioning. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments, and sit back and relax as I show the differences. The logos at the beginning of the game are not located within the world in the handheld version. They are instead just behind a black screen. Certain cutscenes, such as the opening one when you start a new save file, are not present in the handheld version. The Batcave works a little bit differently between both versions. To enter a level in the console version, you enter a vehicle and then select a level, but in the handheld you have to go through doors, similarly to the Complete Saga. Some power-ups, such as the heat absorption suit, are not in the handheld version. To make up for this, the DS has some suits exclusive to it, such as the rebreathing suit. The handheld version has an extra mode as well as other mini-games where you can search for certain villains under a time limit. In the Batcave, you can use any of the suits you have unlocked in the console version, but in the handheld version, you can only look at them. The handheld version of the game also has many exclusive characters. These include Black Mask, Huntress, Azrael, Firefly, and more. On top of exclusive characters, some characters on the DS have exclusive abilities as well. There are no cutscenes either. All of the segments before and after levels are more like a comic book. Some cutscenes have no equivalent in the handheld version. These are mostly the ones that play after finishing a chapter. Many of the stud requirements to fill the stud meter are also different. Many of the level names are different between both versions. For example, the console's first level is called You Can Bank on Batman, while the handheld's is called Gotham Streets. Also, most levels have major level design changes to account for the handheld's weaker hardware. The spacing of the hearts is additionally different. In the handheld, they are slightly spaced out, but in the console they are practically touching. In the DS version, there are only 5 mini-kits in each level as opposed to the console's 10. The first suit that Batman gets in the first level is the flight suit in the handheld, while in the console version it's the demolition suit. The specific pieces that you can destroy with the demolition suit are once again different. In the console version, it's silver objects, but in the handheld version, it's red and black objects. While the character icons can be blue and green in the original, they will only be yellow in the demake. On top of that, all of the characters and their icons are facing the front in the console while they are facing the side in the handheld game. Robin never gets his tech suit in the handheld version of the first level. This inconsistency of power-ups between the versions will remain throughout the game. When you fill up the stud meter in the console version, it will show Superhero on screen, which is different from the demake where it will say True Hero. Clayface has more hearts in the first level than in the handheld version. The way you defeat him is also different. Instead of just punching him like in the handheld version, you hit him with toxic gas in the console version. In the DS version, the stud meter is separated between story and free play, which is different from the console version where there is only one for both. Many of the goon designs are generally different between both versions. The vehicle levels are massively different. While the console version allows you freedom of movement, You're on rails on the handheld. In the ending cutscene of the first vehicle level, Batman and Robin corner the Riddler, but in the handheld's cutscene equivalent, Two-Face is cornered as well as the Riddler. Also, the way the Riddler is saved is different. In the console version, he is carried by a rising flower, but in the handheld version, he climbs a rope while Batman and Robin are distracted. Batman's sonic suit is never seen in this level of the handheld version of the game. To replace this, the handheld version has a mechanic where you must push a box into a certain area and then pull levers. In the sixth level, the handheld's cutscene equivalent shows Batman and Robin in Wayne Manor, but this segment was never in the console version. On top of that, the boss fight you fight at the end of the level is Bane instead of Catwoman. The seventh level is completely different as well. In the handheld version, it seems to be a part 2 of the previous level that was covered on only one level in the console version. In the ending cutscene of the boat level, there are multiple differences. First of all, the Penguin and Killer Croc were never in the submarine in the console version. Secondly, the sewer hole is on the wall on the console version while it is on the floor in the handheld. And finally, Robin never got decapitated by the sewer grate in the handheld version. Definitely missed potential there. In the ending cutscene of the next level, the console version shows Batman finding out about the Penguin's whereabouts from a pamphlet, while the handheld showed Killer Croc personally telling him. In the boss fight of the next level, you fight Man-Bat instead of Catwoman. The level Penguin's Lair seems to be completely missing from the handheld version of the game. In the opening cutscene of Joker's home turf, it is shown from the hero's perspective in the console version, while the handheld version shows it from the villain's perspective. In the ending cutscene of the same level, Batman finds out about the Joker's whereabouts differently in different versions. In the opening cutscene of Flight of the Bat, Joker was not in the plane in the console version. In the art gallery, the character you fight in the boss fight is different. On console, it's Killer Moth, while on handheld, it's the Scarecrow. In To the Top of the Tower, the console version added an extra boss fight with Harley Quinn. In the opening cutscene of the first villain level, the way the characters enter the main area is different. In the handheld version, they came out of a sewer, while in the console version, they just walk through a hallway. Additionally, Two-Face is only part of the level in the handheld version. There are two differences in the ending cutscene of the level. The first one is that the key they find is in a cell in the console version, when it is in a vault in the handheld version. Also, the riches inside the bank in the handheld version are very diverse, while in the console version it's only filled with gold bars. Sadly, in the next level, there are no donuts in the console version. In the ending cutscene, the design of Freeze's secret weapon is different between versions. The way the villains find the secret weapon is different as well. In the console version, it comes up on an elevator, while in the handheld version, it is just there. Batman and Robin are also only seen in the ending cutscene in the handheld version. In Breaking Blocks, the way that Riddler and Two-Face get into the building is once again different between both versions. In the handheld version, they use a plant of some type. The ending cutscene in this level is also completely different. The level An Enterprising Theft is another example of a level missing from the handheld version. The villain version of the car level is a rare example of being in the handheld version but not in the console version. The penguin robot never actually shot Killer Croc in the console version. While the penguin was able to get onto the dock on his own in the handheld version, the console version showed him being thrown up by Bane. In the ending cutscene of the level, the police are the ones that capture Bane in the console version compared to Batman and Robin in the handheld version. This happens in a couple other cutscenes as well. In the ending cutscene of the next level, the villain who picks up the diamond is different between both versions. In the villain version of the boat level, the console version is the only version of the two that shows Catwoman's perspective in the ending cutscene. In the ending cutscene of Arctic World, the penguins were already in the downtown area before the level ended in the console version. The people that the laugh gas is tested on are different between both versions. On console, it's the police, while on handheld, it's one of the Joker's goons. In the villain version of the fairground level, the console version is the only version to show Commissioner Gordon's point of view in the opening cutscene. In addition, Commissioner Gordon is missing from the ending cutscene in the handheld version. In the opening cutscene of Biplane Blast, the Joker is in his own separate plane in the console version. In the handheld version, he is in Scarecrow's plane. In the same level, the police helicopter boss fight was taken out of the handheld version. The couple who are seen in the console version of various cutscenes are also absent from the handheld version. The ending cutscene for the villain art gallery level is completely different between both versions. The character customizer is different as well. The console version has you mix matching random parts while the handheld version allows you to select any character in the game and build from there. Objects known as travel chutes are another example of a mechanic exclusive to the handheld version. And finally, the game's new core mechanic, the targeting system, is absent from the handheld version. When you throw a batarang, it just auto-aims. Well, that's it for LEGO Batman, at least for now. I hope that you liked this video because I'm planning to make more handheld to console comparison videos. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.